We are back. Chaos and some humiliation swamping the GOP as they began Congress today. Kevin McCarthy does not have the votes. That much we know as of tonight. A legendary strategist, James Carville, is with me. Now, this morning, before the voting began, we want to show members of that Freedom Caucus, a common right-wing group, blasting Kevin McCarthy.
Instead of saying to these folks that are standing with me, why have you brought us to this point? Well, we surely haven't come here alone. There's one person that could have changed all this.
Now here we are, being sworn at instead of being sworn in. And we could have had this solved months ago.
If you want to drain the swamp, you cannot put the biggest alligator in charge of the exercise.
And yet, with all irony intended, we go to our favorite alligator for a different reason. Not a swamp creature, but a Southerner. James Carville, welcome back. Welcome back. We like to have you on these big news nights. We don't know what's going to happen. I always tell people I don't do the predictions, but we did know January 3rd could be interesting. It is. Your thoughts on what happened today and whether Kevin McCarthy is in the fight of his life or is already DOA as Speaker?
Well, all right, there was a lot of speculation on what the post-Trump Republican Party would look like. Well, we got our answer today. Welcome to the post-Trump era of the Republican Party. And I was listening to your previous guests who were quite knowledgeable in talking about the narrow majority that McCarthy is dealing with. Remember, Speaker Pelosi had a 4-seat majority for 2 years. And contrast what you saw between 2021 and today and what you're seeing today. And I think that that's not going to be lost on people. It's really stunning because the Republican Party has traditionally been a party of order. And you're supposed to throw the grenade after you pull the pin. And they pull the pin, pass the grenade around.
Even I know about that.
I don't have a great explanation for it because it doesn't make any sense. It's politically, I don't know. Yes, it's kind of some version of political suicide. And I don't think they care. I really don't.
The hardliners.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where you see, I mean, this is something that, sometimes we have these discussions and they sound very abstract. Like people say with Trump and what he did to the party and, of course, what it was already a part of America that he tapped into, is people who never really cared about policy or using government as a force for equalizing or supporting or populism, any of that. No, it wasn't about any of that. And I wonder how that is shown today when you're trying to negotiate. We just had the conversation with some guests about it. You're trying to negotiate with this right-wing faction that isn't asking for a policy concession, isn't asking you to meet them in the middle on an idea about school funding or foreign policy. It's not about any of that, James, is it?
Well, if you remember, they didn't have a platform in 2020. But most of my life, they were for lower taxes, less regulation, and strong national defense. It was kind of fallback position. They don't even have, there's no policy aspiration that they're looking for. It's all grievance. It's all, you did this to me, you didn't do that. And again, I can't help but give you the contrast between when the Democrats had a slim majority and what we're seeing today. And I think both you and I would describe us as equally flummoxed. I mean, we just can't understand that we're watching them pass around live hand grenades, but they're doing that.
Well, I would never, James, I would never claim to be equal to you in your political experience, your political acumen, or your proportionate flummox level. Because however flummoxed you get, it's based on, years of experience I don't have. But I am somewhat flummoxed.
I don't have any more experience than you, anybody else. A friend of mine, a historian friend of mine, was talking about the Whigs in 1849 couldn't elect a speaker. So even I don't remember the Whigs in 1840. But I do know they demonstrated shortly after that. There's no historical context. There's no expert that you can bring in, a Michael Beschloss or Sean Valence, people like that, to give you some perspective, because there is none. We're all equally dumbfounded. And
no, and that's fair. And it speaks to this shift that we're all living through. And as you said, as you let us off in your section tonight, well, what was the post-Trump party going to be, and what has it wrought? You mentioned the contrast to Pelosi. It's a great factoid to remind folks that she was working with those 4 votes also a narrow margin that Democrats in D.C. are sometimes thought of as the party that can't get its act together. But she was, of course, a different kind of leader, I think it's fair to say. Certainly had different results on the floor than McCarthy got today. And Democrats found their way of making that point while taking shots at McCarthy. Take a look.
House Democrats are united. He does not traffic in extremism. He does not grovel to or make excuses for a twice impeached so-called former president. Madam Clerk, he does not bend a knee to anyone who would seek to undermine our democracy.
The chance of Hakeem, former Speaker Pelosi's successor, that history also made today more than one story. Your thoughts?
Well, anything is possible. And remember, it's a majority of the people voting at the time. And my understanding is our whip, Congresswoman Clark, I think it is, from Massachusetts, is really whipping people to stay on the floor. They could get distracted and have a couple people go take a break, and they call a vote. And you don't need 218. You need a majority of those voting. I do think, and I think you and I talked about this earlier, there's a real possibility that it might have to go outside the House for a speaker. Remember, it does not have to be a House member. But they're going to have to do something, and it might have to do something to get Democratic votes. I mean, the 19 people, I thought it was like 7. This is like crazy on a level. And let me give a shout out to the squad. I'm probably ideologically not as aligned with them, but they did right by the party. They pushed their policy agenda. But they stayed part of the team. These people are not part of any team, and they just don't want to be in a coalition. And I was very proud of the Democrats today because the coalition came together and we got a new leader in Hakeem Jeffers, and people are giving him the support he needs. So tomorrow's going to be an interesting day, and I don't think any of us have any idea what's going to happen. But there's a real possibility it might have to go outside the House membership.
Yeah, I mean, what you're alluding to there, as we've told viewers before, is that, again, you say, oh, well, usually it's a member of the House. Usually it is. But usually it's established by this evening. And it's not. I mean, we are in a period of repeated, unprecedented times in our politics and other aspects of life right now. And so they either have to go down the list. You see people talking about Jordan, but Jordan didn't have anything close to majority last time they tested it. He's more the firebrand. Scalise is a deputy. You start going past those names, and to your point, James, you either go down to, roster 5 or 8, what we would call bench players. You know what a sports nut I am. You got to go out to bench, or you got to go out, as you say, you could pick someone from America.